Okay, good morning, good morning. This was happening very quickly. I'm just like boop, 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 and all of a sudden I'm live, and I wasn't even really prepared to go live. I just kind of like, whatever, I just did it. And that's, just do it sometimes. Didn't Nike get it right? Just do it, just do it, just do the thing. Hey, so are you grounded? That's what we're going to talk about today. So in my stories, I ramble because I pre-ramble before I ramble because like I gotta get my rambles out. So in my stories, I briefly talked about my morning and how I meditated, and that was fantastic. And then I do a Wednesday morning live healing / spiritual ramble, I guess, on my Facebook page, Spooky Anna, and then I started to talk a little bit about grounding because I started to think about grounding. So here's the thing with grounding. It's not just if you're sensitive to energies. You hear a lot of it. Okay, before I was spiritual, let's talk about that. Before I was spiritual, or I went through any of this, or experienced anything of any sort, before any of this, I would hear people talk about grounding their energy, and it'd be like, wow, what the fuck are they even saying? What are they even talking about? These crazy people, these crazy spiritual people. But now, like in reflection, it's and there's all these techniques. And when I first started my Reiki classes, and that was where I was sort of like, that was kind of what started all of this energy work stuff. So one thing that was taught was a few different techniques, and then I started to explore a few different techniques for visualizations, for grounding your energy, right, while you're doing this, before you're doing it, after you're doing it, went through the day, whenever you're feeling ungrounded, if you're feeling kind of like energetically fluffy, I guess is a good way to put it. And I'll explain some. We'll take a side tangent in a moment. We'll go there. If you're feeling that way, when I was in these classes, I learned all these techniques, or I learned a few techniques, and then I expanded in terms of what you can try to visualize to help ground yourself. And so there's a few things that you can do. I'll just tell you what some of them are. There's one where you can visualize light, so visualizing light. If you're running light through you, you can visualize a maroon brown light coming out of the earth and attaching onto any light that you're channeling to help pull you into the earth. You can visualize roots coming out of your feet, or if you're sitting, just like out of your butt, I guess, or out of your legs and stuff, going into the ground, roots, and latching into the ground to help keep you there. The visual, it does help you become less floaty. It does help you become less floaty, and it does actually ground you and bring you back into your physical present. The whole concept is like energetically you're moving into the ground, which is earth, physicalness, this physical reality. So energetically, there was that. Now, there are other things that I have begun to realize are very grounding for me, that are much more normal, I'm gonna say normal, that are techniques that probably, I think, earlier in my spiritual journey, or in my spiritual process of growth, or whatever, awakening, I don't know what the fuck you want to fucking call this bullshit. I don't know what you want to call this bullshit, but whatever. There are ways that you can do it as well. You just have to pay attention to ground yourself and bring yourself kind of back down to the present moment. Now, the side tangent I wanted to take is it's not just about energy and energy work and like visualizations and stuff like that. If you're getting carried away with your thoughts, if you're getting carried away with your feelings, it doesn't have to just be this energetic spiritual thing. It can also be that you need to ground yourself away from these thoughts and these feelings and these emotional sways that you might be having. So it's not just for spiritual people or for people that work with energy. So some things that I found are very grounding. Ice cold water. And the whole purpose is, it's a lot like working with energy, and it's a lot like grounding yourself into the earth, but it's just something that kind of snaps you back to reality, that snaps you back and makes you aware of your physical surroundings. And in this case, it's ice cold water. It makes me cold. It brings me back to like being present with my body. It brings me back to like just like whatever's happening physically inside me, because it's the snap of this ice cold water, and it kind of like shocks you, right? So the concept, and here's where I'm going to wrap it up and actually make some sense. The whole thing that I want to kind of talk about, and I talk about negative thought patterns and negative cycles, and one really good way to snap yourself out of any spirals, especially if you struggle with anxiety or anything like that, is to do something physical and to focus on what you're doing. Like if I have this pen in front of me, I would look at this pen and I'd say, wow, I need to stop chewing this pen, number one. Bad habit. But it's gray. You can kind of see through it. The ink is running a little bit low. I might need to go buy some new pens. Like, look, there's like no ink in this pen. I write a lot in my notebooks. Focusing on the physical stuff is what will help you get out of those negative thought patterns. And it's the same thing when it comes to grounding your energy. Finding ways to just bring yourself back into this 3D physical space around you. Ice water does it. You can try chugging hot tea. Absolutely, that'll have the same impact, but it'll burn your mouth. So ice water's a little bit better in that sense. But anything that kind of just brings you back into this sort of realm. Sometimes, okay, you don't want to, scrolling social media, again, you have to be mindful if you're doing it as a way to escape, but that is very grounding for me. TV, I find very grounding. It's anything that brings me, that disconnects me from the fluttery, it's a fun place to be. That fluttery, spiritual, energetic space. It's a really fun place to be, but the world needs your attention too. And you can't just live there. You need to still take care of your shit, right? So if you're feeling thought patterny, emotional waves, or you're being swept away, or if energetically you're feeling like you are floaty, or you're like in a dream, or just like in this like weird, like hypnotic space, you might just need to do some grounding. And yes, absolutely, the visualizations, and you can explore different types of visualizations that'll help you, because this is so personal. Everything is so personal to you. What works for somebody might not work for somebody else, and that's why I kind of wanted to give you both sides of this. There is the spiritual ways, the energetic ways to ground through visualizations, but you can also just do things that bring you back into your reality, right? Do things that bring you back into your reality, that take you out of your thoughts, that take you out of that energetic pull or that emotional sway, right? And you need to figure out what works for you. And I just wanted to tell you that ice water, yeah, ice water does it for me. It really does. It's just this like, it's refreshing. It's like the Nestea plunge, right? Except with ice water and not tea. Because that would be very sticky. Nestea has a lot of sugar in it. And it's very sticky. I would imagine if you were to actually plunge into a vat of iced tea. Just saying. So yeah, that's all I got. Grounding techniques, anything that brings you back to your reality. Focus on your physical surroundings. Talk about that sharp knife over there, the cutting board that looks like it has blood on it, even though it's just strawberries. Focus on the physical things, and then do things that snap you back into your physical reality. Wash your face, wash your hands, but pay attention to what you're doing. If you're doing mindless things like washing your hands or washing the dishes, you have to pay attention to what you're doing. That's the other trick too. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. Ice water is a nice slap in the face, but if you're going to be doing something physical, then you have to actually do the thing and participate in whatever the physical thing is that you're doing to try to reground yourself, So hey, let's wrap it up. As per normal, I'm going to give you some advice, but without actually giving you any advice and not telling you what to do or having any tangible solutions to your problems, because that's how I roll. Just like throw shit at you and run away and say, okay, you figure it out, have a great day. But that's what it's about. You do have to figure it out. I can help you if you have any questions, if you have any, oh my goodness, I can help you energetically, spiritually, as a healer with blocks, energetic blocks, mental blocks, emotional blocks, anything. I can help you, but you will always need to be there to show up for yourself. You always need to do the work. There is no quick fix to anything. Even if you see a healer or a spiritual guide or anything like that can give you advice, you still need to follow through. It's like you're sitting on the couch, right, eating a bag of chips, and the, you know, your spiritual guide or a doctor even is saying, wow, you know, you need to get up and move and exercise, you're really unhealthy. And what do? You do nothing about it, nothing's going to change. So even if somebody helps you energetically in terms of realigning your physical reality, let's say, that's a good way to put it, you still need to take action to show up in that physical reality, because otherwise your physical reality is always still going to be the one that you were in before you were energetically realigned, you know? The energetic realignment isn't permanent if you don't actually show up to do the things, you know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, cool. That's enough of that. I'm going to go work out. And there you go. That's another thing. That's another great way to ground. Exercise. Exercise. And most people don't like exercise, and that's actually one other reason it's very good, because you'll be swearing so much the fact that you're exercising and you feel like you want to die that you won't have time for emotions and thoughts and weird spiritual energies. So go exercise. I'm going to go lift weights. I'm going to go do my shoulder day. I took a few days off. This is self-care too. My wrist was bothering me. I took a few days off from lifting anything. I did a little bit of cardio, which was good the other day, and it felt okay. It felt good, but nothing feels better than lifting some weights. Lifting heavy things. Fuck, feels amazing. Okay, I'm out. Peace. Have a great day. It's Wednesday. Go check out the live healing. Go look at YouTube, even though like it's still in the works. Whatever. I don't know. Do whatever. Do whatever. Maybe those are just some suggestions, and maybe it'll help ground you. Maybe it'll help ground you. Have a great day, everybody.